Hi everyone, this is Nibiru Watcher. Welcome to the Hebrew year 5777. It's October 2nd, 2016, and before I show you stuff that I've seen over in Switzerland that I overlooked, I need to show you some facts that I believe be completely true about Nibiru because it shows everything what I've observed with my own eyes. So in this 117-page document, I will leave a link in the description. You can click on it. I want you to know that it has some facts here about its magnetic field and its orbit. Notice down here at the bottom is an eccentric long period orbit. That is like a fancy word of like a comet-like orbit. It basically comes into Nibiru, it speeds up as it accelerates towards its planet sun nemesis, and then slows down as it goes back in its unstable orbit, which has been calculated to have an average orbit of 177 days. It could be as long as 200 days, but it's been averaging out probably because of the planets when it goes back out are affecting its unstable orbit. Next, I would like to show the composition, which is possibly cesium, and its rotational speed. Okay, this is really key to what I believe what we're seeing here. This spin of this planet is 36,030 miles per hour. And the magnetic core of this thing is like what they compare to be the eye of the storm in this document, which is 8 AU. That's over 744 million miles out from its center. This is what it would basically look like. The magnetic lines of force, which I like to call them pressure waves between these two. Now, any electrical engineer knows that when you've got a magnetic field that's spinning, you've basically got a generator. You could tap into this energy like a generator with anything that connects current, such as copper wire. And I believe this is why the lights will flicker and have power surges and power outages and all kinds of light anomalies, which I will show you in the next video. So if you have any magnetic wire inside this field, as these waves are passing through, it causes the electrons or the negative force, electromotive force in the copper to move back and forth and oscillate and create current. Okay, so next, I would like to show you this. This is over Switzerland, really close to the Hadron Super Collider, which also generates a great magnetic force, maybe pulling this thing in this direction. Why I think we're seeing some of these light anomalies. Now, in this first picture here, we can see, now I had seen this before, but I dismissed it because I don't think it was empirical evidence, but let's keep watching. Okay, so in this picture here, we've got what I'm going to call these beams of light that we've been seeing around the world. And here's some examples of this recorded in these beams of light, which I think in the early stages of what I had in my earlier video that are being reported all around the world, these beams of light. Now, some of these beams of light have been caught on video. It is not a camera anomaly. These are still shots from the video. Okay, these are happening around the world. These have been through photo forensics, the strange beams of light. Yeah, there are people out trying to debunk this stuff. And yeah, there's a camera anomaly, sure. There are people who have actually caught this on video. Okay, you can believe what you want, but the signs keep coming. So I think this is exactly what we're seeing here, being caught on camera during, this is the first appearance of this. And notice how even the clouds are glowing with electrical energy as this thing is discharging from the ground to the earth. Now, I had seen this months ago, and I dismissed it because it just seemed like it was some kind of a celebration, which I'll show you later. But I want you to notice that if you think that this was some kind of skylight that was shining up into the clouds, which I had thought myself until I considered the distance of this thing. You do not see a ground source light. It appears to be reflecting down. Also notice the distance. This is across multiple buildings. This thing is huge. No light source would be that big to create this ground source light. So let's keep watching some of these because it gets pretty phenomenal as this thing moves down the lake, which is where the current would be if light seeking its electrical will find the course of least resistance, which the body of water and the electrical power lines. And look at this thing as it basically dances towards this one here. I find pretty stunning because it also appears to be glowing up in the clouds and now finally discharging and making its way. Look at it, up in the clouds. Okay, this is not reflecting from the surface. This thing is gigantic. And look how wide this is. Again, this is multiple buildings, so it's not a ground source light. That's not what you expect from a skylight when I first believed. Now let's keep watching as it makes its way towards the bottom of this lake, and look at how it's bouncing the light. I mean, I'll zoom on some of these shots. And also notice the blue light that's appearing now in the clouds here. This one here, I think, is extra worthy of looking at closely when we see this light here and how intense it's approaching here. Yeah, I saw this, I thought, okay, it could be celebrating something. But watch this next one. Okay, so now we see this pointed more horizontally. We also see in the upper right this light up here now. And now look, at predominant blue arcing lightning-like action up in the sky. It almost appears as lightning. In those couple shots, it stays there as this thing continues to hover over this area. Again, to see how it goes back and forth, what kind of a skylight would dance back and forth between city blocks? That doesn't look like some kind of street festival, but watch this next couple of shots as it sits there over this particular hot spot, discharging. And now we see the presence of Nibiru and its plasma cloud. That is not a spider. Anyways, I can prove that too. We've seen what spiders look like on a lens. And now we've got what looks like an explosion, which is probably the one reason I dismissed it, because I thought, they're celebrating the 4th of July. This is ground sky works. And, is that fireworks or is that an explosion? If it is, okay, I'll give you that. It could be fireworks from the ground. Those are awfully low fireworks, though. I think to be a little higher in the air than that. But yeah, it was this shot that I dismissed it. But keep watching because things are getting crazier. Watch as evidence grows. The next camera shot, we see more intense fire action. Let's zoom in on that one. Yeah, this is a time-lapse camera. It certainly looks like the fireworks now. And hey, maybe it is. I'm curious. It is around July, but this is Switzerland. So let's keep watching. As it goes back up to the lake, look how wide the beam this is. And look at this light that's coming from this cloud now up here. Is this from the skylight or is this a discharge from the sky or the ground? Well, look how wide this is at the bottom. That is very... Look how many buildings that would have to cross. Would that really be a source of light? Well, keep watching yet still, because here, I think, says it all. Look at the lightning from around the cloud as it discharges from this thing. And again, zoom in on this one. That this thing is covering up like half the city as it goes all the way in the sky and surrounds this thing. Okay, what kind of a ground source light could provide a perfect beam of light like that? And then if we zoom out, look at the surrounding cloud. Again, we've got the presence of Nibiru and its plasma shadow here, which is kind of like a hologram because the lens is out in space, distorting this whole thing. So, again, next I want to show you the electrical phenomenon that's happening with the lights. As this gravity, as I showed you earlier in the video, when you get this thing is like a rotating electric generator when it comes to contact with light. So let's look at the light changing effects of the brightness of this thing. Now forget the lights turning off and on. Just focus your eye on one light and watch how it gets brighter and dimmer as this thing approaches, which is exactly what you expect. Power surges as the voltage increases right there. Okay, now let's look at the camera attributes. This is a Canon EOS with the exposure time and the ISO speed at 1600 at 4 electrovolts with no changes in the camera attributes. And we see, did you see how the lights are dimming out here, surging the volts as it. So here we got, let me go to one where the lights are dimmer. This thing is acting like a dimmer switch. That there is pretty bright. Look at the lights even reflecting off the water here. And now I expect the lights, all the lights, to go up and down in brightness as this thing diminishes. So if we find maximum brightness level, again, this is not due to the ISO speed change. When you could expect that. When the ISO speed steps up, the brightness of everything would appear to turn up. Okay, see how it's dimmer in this shot. Still 1611 volts at 4 electrovolts. And if we turn up the brightness, everything got brighter, like in this shot, and nothing's changed here. Okay, that means the lights literally got brighter. So between these two camera shots, let me go back and forth between bright and dim to see how the lights, when people saying the lights are acting funny, that's the presence of Nibiru. And this thing finally has a full discharge over this spot here. And look how everything turned bright. Look at this light, like right here. Still at 1600 electrovolts. Nothing's changed, and yet everything got brighter. And you could do this over any of these cameras in the presence of Nibiru. This thing has gotten bigger. I hope this explains some of the electromechanical nature of electricity. Again, when you've got a moving, when wire moves through a magnetic field or the magnetic field moves through wire, you get current either way. And so let me go back to this other document real quick about these orbiting bodies of Nibiru. Here's all the names of Nibiru. This is its diameter. We have 179,000 kilometers. Its core magnetic field, 8 AUs. That's approximately 744 million miles. A long eccentric orbit, and its orbiting bodies. Here's a key one. We was speculating. Again, it has, where was this? Under orbiting bodies. Let's see, long eccentric. Oh, here we go. Orbiting bodies. 7 planets or moons and innumerable asteroids and comets around this object. This is object. You know, this object is also orbiting around Nemesis. So it's a whole huge system out there. Anyways, I'll leave a link in the description for this, and I hope I tried to explain the best of the electrical phenomenon of how the lights are going up and down in voltage with no change. If you're going to look for this, make sure that this stays the same during the screenshots and nothing changes here. And if you watch lights get brighter, there's your power surge, and there's the presence of Nibiru. Let me continue to show the progression of this during the next couple of days. Let's go back in time again. We can find whoops. Oh, so here we go. Okay, so and we can see that Nibiru continues to move around with its classic V shape. No distinct spider legs. Oh, give me a break with the spider already. How do you explain? Anyways, I'll leave a link in the description. I hope it explains the plasma event that we're currently experiencing. The dead fish, the cows, the 323 reindeer in Norway, and the 13 cattle here and there, and there's some crazy stuff going on. Anyways, hope you appreciate this. Please like and share this video. Have a blessed day.